Master say to let them stay in their night clothes and robes for now, and to get 'em dressed after breakfast.
Why he want to wait until then?
He say he don't want them spilling food on their good clothes. He's taking them to town to the slave selling.
He gonna do what? Why he want to take them girls to something like that? He wouldn't do that if the mistress was still here.
Emma speaks.
I think I miss Mistress Fanny almost as much as Miss Sarah and Miss Frances do. Miss Frances tries to pretend like she don't miss her mama, but I know she does. She's just trying to hide from her feelings. Miss Sarah's not like that. Her feelings know where she is, and they find her every night when she goes to bed. It's been almost a year since her mama been gone, but she still cries herself to sleep. The rain comes down hard as stones. Last night, me, Mama, and Papa got soaking wet running back to the quarters. But I was glad for the rain and how loud it was, because I mostly couldn't hear folks crying over the ones what got sold yesterday and the crying of them what's going to be sold today. Seemed like there was crying coming from every cabin in the quarters except in ours. Papa, what was it like at the slave selling yesterday?
Like watching people die. I knew practically every one of them what got sold. Knew 'em by face, if not by name. The slave seller would call 'em up, sometimes a husband and wife together, sometimes a whole family, and sometimes just one. The slave seller talked so fast, you couldn't understand what he was saying. I guess white folks can listen faster than colored, because the slave seller be talking fast, and different white folks would raise their hands, and the slave seller would point at first one and shout 100, and then another white man would raise his hand, and the slave seller would shout 200, and it would keep on that way until all of a sudden the slave seller would point to a white man and yell, "Sold!" And all the other white folks would come over and pat that one on the back, and he'd grin and smile like he'd just bought himself a fine racehorse. Master said he wasn't going to separate husbands from wives and parents from their children. He must have forgot, 'cause he sold my sister and her husband to a master from Tennessee, and their daughter was bought by a lady from Mississippi. The one what bought my sister didn't even let her come and say goodbye to me. I watched as her new master took her away, and when the door closed behind him, I realized that I ain't never going to see her again. That was like lightning leaping out of a black cloud and striking me in the chest. The only way I'll ever know she was alive is by this pain in my heart.
Outside, thunder rolls back and forth across the sky, like the cannon explosions of opposing armies. Will, Maddie, and Emma look up, as if they are afraid something is going to come through the ceiling. Then they exchange looks that say they know why nature is making her presence felt so strongly. After the thunder has passed, and there is only the sound of the hard rain.
When Papa told us last night that Aunt Selma, Uncle Bob, and Charlotte had been sold away, I didn't want to believe it. Me and Charlotte was born around the same time. Since neither one of us had a sister, we were sisters to each other. I feel so bad for her. I wonder where she is this morning. Is she in Mississippi already? Is the lady who bought her nice? Charlotte must be so scared. I know I would be.
Maddie steps away from the hot stove and goes to stand in the open kitchen door. She looks through the rain toward the barn. Though it is raining hard, she can make out Jenkins, the overseer, bringing slaves from the quarters. The wrists and ankles of the slaves are shackled with iron cuffs and chains that link them to each other.
At meal times, I stand in the corner of the dining room closest to the kitchen in case Master, one of the girls, or a guest should need me to get something for them. I am as still as the sideboard. Master forgets I'm there, or maybe he don't care. Maybe he think I don't hear and understand what him and the slave seller say. But I hear. I understood when the slave seller say, "This is going to be the biggest slave auction ever held in America." He laughed. Master laughed. When I went